Hey guys, Tarke here, and today I want to talk about Baeclast going forward, Baeclast staying the same, everything there sort of is to talk about it, since every time we have an episode we always have this back and forth of differing opinions, and we had a lot of heat on the last one. So this is more for the Path of Exile community at large, not necessarily my viewers, because I feel like my viewers kind of get what Baeclast is right now. So, there's quite a lot to break down. I've prepared some notes. I also have in the background the overlay of every single episode, and our overlays are made by Nate Pavation, who great at making overlays. Thank you very much. And I've also got some examples of past topic lists, just so people can kind of get an idea of what goes into making the average Baeclast. So, for anyone who doesn't know, we do them roughly every 2 weeks, sometimes more often, sometimes less often, and we started them around about Breach League, and we've been going ever since then. How the average Baeclast works, all the organization's done by this pleb. Nape does the overlay, and we get everyone in. We try and bring on certain guests for certain topics. So, for example, with the most recent episode, I really wanted to talk about Uber Elder. Uber Elder was going to be the main focus. It was Flashback and Uber Elder. The Ignite rework hadn't been announced when we were designing the episode, so on and so forth. So the only real discussion we had was Uber Elder and Flashback. So I wanted to bring on a bunch of racers, and I wanted to bring on a bunch of boss killers. So, who are really good racers in the community who also do a lot of bossing? Waggle, Havoc, Ziz, boom, makes perfect sense. Shinra has done a lot with bossing in the past, and has been a big advocate of Pathfinder Righteous Fire recently. And Pathfinder first Jug, first Righteous Fire, somebody's done a lot of stuff with bossing, fits in there perfectly, all makes sense, right? So, that happens, right? Going in, we're getting planned. Okay, cool. During the planning process, the Ignite rework gets announced. Huge spanner in the works. We're obviously going to talk about Ignite. We have to talk about Ignite. It's too big to not talk about. So, do we cut the episode up now? Do we wait to talk about Ignite 2 weeks from now when it's kind of dead news? No, we try and fit it in, Who's done a lot of stuff with Ignite? Havoc's done a lot of stuff with Ignite. Waggle's done a lot of stuff with Ignite. Ziz's done a lot of stuff with Ignite. Shinra's played the game before. He's done a lot of stuff with Ignite. Anyone who's basically played Ignite before, a year ago, has done a lot with it. So, you kind of can see how the episodes can kind of come a little bit, disjointed from your core initial idea. We also run into the thing, as you can kind of see here, where you plan an episode with a certain amount of guests, and then suddenly you get the last minute, ooh, hang on. So with the last episode, for example, I asked Havoc very early on, and Havoc was a very late confirmation. This happens very regularly. I'm just using that example because that was the most recent time it's happened. We had an episode not that long ago where Cute Dog was meant to be on it, and then he slept through the episode because his alarm didn't go off, and then episode size shrunk or grew randomly. That happens quite regularly, stuff like that happens. It's a moving thing. Stuff kind of changes, and that's something that I really want to pinpoint on. I like that slightly chaotic, I like that very chaotic nature of Baeclast. The reason why Baeclast has been going for so long now is because I enjoy organizing it. And the main reason I enjoy organizing it is I like to just kind of kick back and meme it with some friends who also play Path of Exile, talk about what's relevant. It might be helpful for some people, but that's kind of the real thing. And since nearly all of the work outside of the overlay is done by me, I need to enjoy organizing it. That's also why we do the episodes every 2 weeks. By doing the episodes every 2 weeks, it's not too damaging to my schedule. It's not too damaging to other people's schedule. And we can actually keep making content without feeling forced into, we have to have an episode every week. When you look at a lot of podcasts where they have to do the episode every week, episodes are far more inconsistent in terms of quality, and it just is less fun. It's more draining on everyone. It's more stressful for everyone. You're more likely to have divides and rifts form between people. I'm super happy with the current format. I don't think we'll ever go into a weekly Baeclast format unless something significantly changes. If suddenly I get a PA or something, then maybe. And if we did do that, then Baeclast would be completely different, because then there'd be half the time, half as many guests. I would have a personal assistant, and yeah, that's not gonna happen, right? So yeah, I just want to really stress, Baeclast is meant to be the fun, chill out with friends, having a rant, having a ramble, taking the piss out of each other. It's not meant to be super serious. There have been super serious Path of Exile podcasts in the past. I've really enjoyed watching them. Hopefully, for the people who really want that content, someone makes it. That's really the one thing. If you really, really want that super serious Path of Exile podcast, I'm not even like trolling, just make it. It isn't that difficult to find like-minded people and start something. So if you make content or you want to make content for Path of Exile, just make it. Don't tell other people how to change their content. Just make it. Just like make it. That's all I can really say about it. Make the content you want to see. I make the content I want to see. Therefore, I enjoy making my content. Therefore, I can keep making my content. Right. When it comes to things that could be improved, though, and I definitely do take the feedback on board, I do much prefer having the small episodes. I much prefer having the 4 to 5 people episodes. And I need to be a lot stricter. When I get that last minute, dude, I can make it, I need to be a lot better at actually just putting my foot down and saying, actually, no, mate, sorry, we're stuck on this number. Maybe next time. I need to get better at that. 100%, I take that on board. Also, I think going forward, I'm going to try and be a lot stricter about people having cameras. So, in the whole time we've done Baeclast, we've only had 2 episodes without cameras. And that was our last 2 episodes. So the episode with Red Eye didn't have a camera. To be honest, I feel like Red Eye did a really good job with that. And that's just because I think Red Eye watches a lot of my stream. He watches a lot of Riser's stream. And he's used to the humor. He watches Baeclast. He kind of gets how it works. With the last episode, Waggle and Havoc both didn't have cameras. And that actually makes it a lot harder on the flow of the conversation. And what I mean by that, since we do talk over each other a lot, I'm very aware of that fact. But that's kind of the fun of it. But a lot of that is, when you can see someone, you know when they want to talk. So you know to pause or like let them, or, oh, you look like you're about to say something there. What were you going to say? Anyone who watched the episode with, Grimro knows that a lot of that episode was Grimro kind of going, I want to talk now. And I'd be like, hey man, what do you want to say right now? You learn people's visual cues. Me and Rise, if we have something to say, we say it. Other people, they have this thing called like social etiquette. They want to say something, they make us like scowl. So I think going forward, I'm going to be a lot stricter about people either having to have cameras or never having more than 1 no-cam guest per episode. I'm also going to try and be a lot better about bringing on too many new guests at once. Everyone's first episode is always their worst episode. The first time I was ever on a Pee-wee podcast was State of Exile. You can find it somewhere. It was terrible. Everyone is always super nervous. Doesn't matter how long you've been making content for Path of Exile or any game. Your first podcast is always scuffed. You're always overly nervous for no real reason. It's just not good. It's their second, their third, their fourth. That's when they really they get into the swing of things. The reason why me and Rise seem so overly confident and whatever is, one, because we're narcissistic pricks, but also we've been on nearly every single episode. Rise has only missed 1, I think, and I've obviously been on every single one, so we're used to the format. Like the episode where Lara was on, I remember she was super nervous about it, and after she was like, oh yeah, no, it was fine, it wasn't that bad. And I'm sure when we next get her on, she'll be, dabbing left and right every 3 seconds. I still can't believe she dabbed on the episode that Lara was on. But yeah, you kind of get my point, right? So I'm going to try and be better with the amount of people and also the amount of new people. When it comes to reoccurring guests, why do we pick the people we pick? Going back to the previous thing, the guests choose the topics and vice versa. There's no reason to bring on certain guests if you're not talking about certain things. If you're talking about certain things, obviously you want certain people on that. A good example of that is I've been talking to Slippery Jim recently, and I'm going to be planning a MF-centric episode. So when I have the MF-centric episode, who are the people I really want to bring on for that? I don't know when exactly it'll be. Will be like Jim. It'll be like Grimro. It'll be someone like Empyrean. It'll be someone like, Cute Dog. It's people who farm a lot, like the power farmers. That would be a good time to do that. And for example, people who wouldn't be very good for the full MF episode would be like bringing on all the SSF players. Because obviously we still map and stuff, but nowhere near to the same extent. So you kind of get like what the structure is going forward. And also, sometimes we ask guests, do you want to come on? They just say no. We've asked more people than you'd think we've asked. And also, a very recent example of this is, so Project PT has come back to Path of Exile. Or is coming back for Flashback. The amount of people who've asked, is PT going to be on the next Baeclast? No, of course he isn't. PC was in my stream recently, and he was like, why the fuck would I be on Baeclast? I haven't played Path of Exile in a year. This is how that episode would go. So, PT, have you played much Path of Exile recently? No, I haven't played it in a year, actually. Oh, are you excited about the Ignite reworks? Wait, Ignite reworks? Ignite was OP when I last played. Oh, it's bad now. Huh, interesting. Want to talk about WoW? No, not really. This is a Path of Exile podcast. Damn, I wish you'd asked me on in a month's time after I had a month of playing Path of Exile. Yeah, maybe we should do that. Lesson learned. So yeah, we'll eventually get everyone on, but when it's relevant, a good time to bring them on, and when it's a fair time to bring them on. When it comes to bringing on variety streamers and outside sources, people who only play like Path of Exile for 2 minutes or 10 leagues, I do feel a certain responsibility in trying to bring on newer people and people who've been part of the community for a really long time and are super underrepresented. I would much rather bring someone who's been part of the Path of Exile community for 5 years who I think deserves way more love than some massive variety streamer who's played for one league. I would love to bring on some of the big variety streamers like Carnage and JP and all of that lot in maybe another league or two. But I personally, that's just me. I feel like I would much rather bring on the old guard, the people who've been there for ages, people who more people should listen to. Waggle's the perfect example. I've been trying to get Waggle on for ages. I'm a huge fan of Waggle's content, and more people should be like, yeah, dude, Waggle's a fucking badass. Let's get Waggle on. He's good at the game. That's kind of what I'm talking about. So, yes. Right. Other things just to talk about quickly, timestamps. A lot of people really like timestamps. I understand why people like timestamps. Not everyone wants to watch a 3-hour podcast. I think that the thing with Baeclast for me is it's kind of we play Path of Exile. I'm not speaking for everyone, but a lot of us, we play Path of Exile, we mong out for half the day. We have a random stream, we have something on our second monitor. Baeclast should be that. It's the thing on in the second monitor. You can stop what you're doing, you can watch it, you can have fun, you go, okay, I want to go back to mapping now. You can listen to it on the way to work. I know a lot of my viewers do that. So on and so forth. I'm not expecting people to put Baeclast on and glue themselves to the screen and watch all 3.5 hours fucking, oh, this is amazing, making notes, and this is so that's not what I expect this to be. That's not the kind of content I enjoy watching personally. And again, I make the content I enjoy consuming. With the timestamps, I've tried timestamping before. It is a pain. So some people say, why don't you just timestamp during the episode? It's not that difficult. There's so many things being juggled, and I have so many monitors. During Baeclast, the way it works is I have capture screens on my main monitor. That's how I get the video from Discord now that we use Discord. I can't move anything on this monitor without ruining all the cams. So this monitor is, boom, out of limits. Second monitor, what's going on the second monitor? On the second monitor, I've got OBS. I've got chat. I've got background footage of Derek doing hideout stuff. Also, massive shout out to Derek. He's the guy who's been doing all of our really beautiful hideout backgrounds recently. I've got all these other things. I've got Google documents. I've got this, that, and the other. I could have a notepad in my lap and be doing this, but all that would really happen is I would get super distracted. I would lose track of things, and then I would do even less directing of the conversation, which some people want me to do a lot more / a lot less of. So, yeah. Me personally, I'm not going to do live timestamps. I've tried doing it very briefly and just quickly abandoned it just because I don't enjoy doing it, and it makes it a far even more disheveled, even more chaotic episode. When it comes to doing timestamps after the fact, I just realistically don't have time to get timestamps out there and also upload the video the same day right away. People want it up there as quick as possible. People want it up. It takes about 4 to 5 hours to do a Baeclast stream with all the pre-ramp and this, that, and the other. We then need to go through, highlight the VOD, start the export starts happening. I then don't have time to then sit and watch 3.5 hours or 2 hours or whatever right then, note everything down, exactly when this thing is, and upload it straight. Since we do have that very chaotic ramble nature, it makes it a lot harder to do. I've had viewers do it in the past. The viewers who do it, I super appreciate it. But it's just one of those things. Do you want Baeclast to go up straight away? If yes, don't expect timestamps from me. If you have to have timestamps from me, don't expect Baeclast to go up right away. Boom, boom. Uploading to other sources. I really do want to get round to getting every single previous episode and future episode of Baeclast onto something like SoundCloud or iTunes for the guys who like to listen to it on the way to work, download it, whatever. In the meantime, you can download Baeclast. There are like programs you can use to download YouTube videos into MP3. I know it's not ideal. I have no issue with you guys doing that. Do what you want with it. I don't care. I just need to explore it more. That is the case if you can say, Tarke's lazy. Yeah, no, Tarke has been lazy when it comes to getting Baeclast up onto actual just raw sound formats. On that front, though, I know nothing about that. For the people who do really consume that kind of stuff, what do you think would be the best platform? What is like the main platform that most people use? Because I don't want to be in the case where, you know, I start doing it and then people are like, why haven't you uploaded it to this 57th platform? I don't want to be like having to upload files to 8 different places too much. I kind of want to have it just all on one place somewhere and then I can monitor it. The last time I really actually considered doing it, I was going to put it all into SoundCloud, and then SoundCloud looked like it was going to die. So that's why I had this discussion like a few months ago, and you were like, oh, why didn't it happen? Yeah, I went to go do it, and SoundCloud was about to disappear, but now I think it's not. I don't know, but yes. Sorry for the slightly rambly feedback video, but it's a Baeclast discussion. It wouldn't be a Baeclast discussion without the rambles. I hope that clears up some things. I'm sorry for anyone who is disappointed by this. If, you know, you realize, you know what, with what Tarke's saying, Baeclast really isn't the content for me, I'm sorry, but, you know, it doesn't have to be for everyone. I enjoy it, some people enjoy it, and hopefully you guys continue to enjoy it for, you know, as long as it keeps on happening, which will be until I, you know, fall over dead somewhere. So, yes, I'm Tarke. Have a good day. Bye-bye.